Hi y'all, it's Tin Kim again, and last week I showed you my bullet journal slash Franken journal setup, and this week I wanted to talk more about one of the very important sections on my weekly spread. So I work from home and I work for myself, and that means I have to be pretty disciplined about getting things done. And my office, this is my home office, and behind this curtain is like the laundry area, and over this way is my kitchen with, right now there's no dirty dishes in the sink save for the breakfast ones from the kids. But as you can see, there's lots of distractions and my cats are running around, and you know, when you don't have set deadlines for things, it's hard to stay on track. Well, so that's why it's so important for me to make a good to-do list every day and for the week. And one of the ways I start is with a brain dump. And I'll show you my brain dump section in a little bit. But a brain dump is exactly what it is. You just write down everything that's in your head that you have to do, just to get out of your head. And the thing is, like, when I'm holding all these things in my head, I don't know if you do this, but my brain gets too cluttered and I can't concentrate on anything, and I think, oh my gosh, I got to keep remembering this or I'm going to forget it. And sometimes I do, and then I get mad at myself, like, why did I do this again? And I thought, well, why don't I just write it all out, and then I can organize it. So a very important part of my weekly spread is the brain dump. So here it is, and it's in, it's right next to my weekly section. So before I fill in the to-do notes, I'll sit down and I'll just write everything that I can think of that I have to do. And sometimes when I haven't quite had enough coffee in the morning, I can only list a few things. And here I actually need to go back, because even though I talk about doing a brain dump, I am not always good about writing it down. So things like I've written on here, and this is all work related stuff, so you could do the same thing for, like household chores, appointments. I just write down everything, and right now I'm focusing on putting some new items in my shop. I bought a bookworm, so a lot of the stuff is on the list is that. But if you go back on like my previous week, I'm going to turn back the page here. I have things like doing like accounting paperwork, not one of my favorite things to do. Thinking about how I want to do my Instagram, making last week's planner video. And then what happens is that after I make this list, I go through and I prioritize them, right? So I have the project tasks for different things. I'll set put the name of a project and list all the things I have to do under it, and then I'll take that. So this is like how my brain thinks. After that, I will take the items on those task lists and say, okay, what day do I want to get this done? If I want to get it done on Wednesday, and I'll put like I try to do top 3 or 4 items I have to get done that day, because my work day is not that long, right? And I try to stop and eat lunch, because that's a good thing to do. Sometimes it's not till 2 o'clock, and then my daughter gets home at 3, but I eat lunch. And to keep organized. And I think that having an ongoing brain dump, so anytime I think of a task that I'm supposed to do, I write it down in the brain dump. And then the next day in the morning, I'll prioritize, and I'll say, well, maybe that's not as important as, writing a blog post. I'll do that first. So yeah, so do you do any kind of brain dump, or do you try to write like a long, if you just write like a long to-do list and break it up into chunks, that's kind of the same concept. And I know a lot of people are talking about that now, because, I don't know if you heard the story of the rocks and the pebbles, right? About the teacher who said, can we fit all these things in this jar? If you put in the little things first, like the pebbles and the sand, you're not going to have room for the big things. So you prioritize the big things, put them in your jar, your things that you want to do. And then after you do the big things, then you can add the medium things and then the smaller things. So I think the hardest part is prioritizing what's important. And for me, I usually ask myself, which of these tasks are going to move me forward towards one of my goals, or it's going to help me bring in income, whether it be today or down the road. So maybe writing a recipe, you know, figuring out a recipe that I want to make and take photos of. And so I'll spend the time to plan that out first, right? Because that's important for me, because I get traffic, people like, you know, making my food, and I enjoy it too. So things like that, that's how I prioritize. And, you know, depending on the season, like, is it more important to do, say, a Valentine's post or a king cake post versus, you know, what's the weather out there? Not that I would write about the weather, but you get the point. So that is my brain dump in my journal. And I used to do it all the time, and I stopped, so I decided for this year, if you look at my first week of the year, there's no brain dump section, so this is my first week spread, and I added it the following week, and it's actually helped me out a lot, because I'm not worried about I'm going to forget something, because it's all written down. That's a brain dump. If you do a brain dump or anything similar, let me know. I'd love to hear how you prioritize your tasks for the day or the week or the month. All right, so next time, talk to you later. Bye.